Hello and welcome to No Rest for the Weekend. I'm Jason Godbey, and today on the program, we got part 2 of our summer movie preview because there were so many movies we couldn't get through them all in part 1. Joining me once again, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Eric McClanahan.
Hello.
Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Doesn't seem like a week has passed.
I know. Wow. Goodness.
But we got some more movies to talk about. When we last left off, we had a discussion about the big superhero tentpole movies. Now we got some not-so-big movies, but interesting. So we got some stuff coming out in August. August is kind of a precarious month for movies.
Yeah, it's summer's like bastard third leg. And yeah, sometimes things get dumped in there.
Yeah, it can be a dumping ground, but every once in a while you find a little diamond in the rough kind of thing. So the first movie, this looked interesting to me. I just saw this trailer. I didn't know what it was. I hadn't heard anything about this. But this is the new Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Leonardo Di Caprio and Benicio del Toro. It's based on a book by Thomas Pynchon, who also wrote the book for Inherent Vice. This is called One Battle After Another, and the premise is when their evil enemy surfaces after 16 years, a group of ex-revolutionaries reunites to rescue one of their own's daughter. So it's like a kidnapping story, and Leonardo DiCaprio's got to go rescue his kid. I think the thing is, like, did you like Inherent Vice? Did you get Inherent Vice? I think it might be one of those types of movies that grows on you, but there are people who like this author who probably really liked Inherent Vice and may like this. Mm-hmm. I like Paul Thomas Anderson. I think he's a terrific filmmaker. I don't know what the hell with this movie, though. It just doesn't seem, I don't know. I'm like, it seems very quirky.
Well, it's funny, like reading this log line, I hadn't read the log line before, and there's a lot to unpack there. Because it says when their evil enemy resurfaces. So thereby saying, when they say their enemy is evil, well, you're establishing that they're good. But they're also ex-revolutionaries. So there's a lot of...
So is this what they were revolting against?
It's almost false ambiguity in there because they're telling you so much, but it seems contradictory. So have they told you anything?
That's very Thomas Pynchon.
That might be the tone of the film. That might be, Inherent Vice too.
Yeah.
So yeah, certainly. Like I've seen the teasers that are running now, and there's a lot of interesting character choices and visuals. And DiCaprio's, he's putting in great work. So to see him with Paul Thomas Anderson, I think that's worth the price of admission.
Yes, that's what I'm curious to see. I think it's more of a stream it. Again, our scale of see it, as in see it in the theaters, stream it, or skip it. For me, this is probably a stream it. I am curious to see it, but I don't know if I want to shell out $20 to go see it. Because I like Paul Thomas Anderson, I like DiCaprio, I like that marriage happening.
Right.
I also think that I was one of those people who did not really get Inherent Vice, and it's probably my lack of experience with drugs that did that.
Yeah.
So,
well, and to go back to something we were saying in the last episode about the price of admission. We're still going to be bankrupt from the 1-2 punch of Superman and Fantastic Four. I think that is the knell of death for films in August.
Right.
And we just don't have the emotional bandwidth or the finances to see these films that get dropped in that dumping ground.
I spent all of my disposable income on seeing these other things in the theater because they're the big bang things. And now when the smaller movie comes out the next month, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they may, in fact, suffer from, tentpole hangover.
Valid point. Now, this next one is one of those, I don't even know if it's see it, stream it, or skip it, or like, do we need this? So it just feels weird to say. Freakier Friday, 22 years after Tess and Anna endured an identity crisis, Anna now has a daughter and a soon-to-be stepdaughter, and as they navigate the challenges that come when two families merge, Tess and Anna discover that the lightning might strike twice. Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan in the Switch Places movie. Dear God, man.
And in my notes, I wrote, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back, this time for a four-way, because I saw the teaser trailer, and it's a four-way switch.
So the daughter,
stepdaughter, Anna and Tess all get shuffled. And, Jamie Lee Curtis she's in a Renaissance era right now.
she's wonderful.
Lindsay Lohan is doing her best. The first one was surprisingly refreshing. For you think that you know who the audience is for that film, but it just grabbed so many people because it was exuberant, it was fun, there was rock and roll, it was great. I will end up streaming this one. I will.
Okay, that's fair. I'll probably skip it because I didn't really see the first one, and I don't care. But I do feel like Jurassic, we talked about Jurassic World Rebirth, which is just Jurassic World Reboot. This is almost like Freakier Friday, Revive. I feel like it's like Resuscitate.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'm looking at this summer movie slate, and film is the suspension of disbelief. And holy shit. That's all this summer slate is. Hey, there's more dinosaurs on another island. Let's go drill their skulls out for medical benefit. Hey, we got body switched again. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. So that's also happening in August. And then there's a film called Weapons that you added. And this is from one of the guys from Whitest Kids You Know,
yes,
who you interviewed for Tribeca last year for their animated film. Has that film come out yet? Has that?
Not that I know of.
Okay,
no, I haven't seen it.
So, and that video did great for us. There's a lot of Whitest Kids You Know fans, so maybe this will gain. But why don't you talk about it?
All right, so Zach Krager, who was a part of the sketch troupe Whitest Kids You Know, went off and made a horror film called Barbarian back during the pandemic, and huge success, just crazy nutter butter wild movie that just blew away expectations. And so he's back with another horror film. This one's an interrelated multi-story horror epic about the disappearance of high school students in a small town. And with a title like Weapons, there's a lot of question marks. And
it sounds like a war film or something.
It is that he deals in that fear of the unknown. He deals in those dark spaces, the basements and, the towns where kids go missing. So it's a big question mark. It's an exploration. It's confronting fears. And it really resonates with horror fans. So that he's got a new one coming out, I think, is going to generate a lot of interest. And he's got Pedro Pascal, America's Zaddy. So this film's going to get a lot of buzz. I think a lot of people are going to check it out and enjoy it. I'm interested in it, so I'm going to definitely say stream it because, again, I'll be poor. But yes.
Yeah, I feel kind of the same way. I mean, it's great that he's doing that, and we need good horror films. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's got the cash, because the one thing about horror films is they're not star dependent like other genres are. They're scare dependent. With this, he's got a big star, so I mean maybe it'll actually do decent business because horror fans will go out. They will see stuff if they're not too broke from seeing Superman and Fantastic Four. All right, so moving on, August 15th. Another sequel, Nobody 2. Now, this is suburban dad Hutch Mansell, a former lethal assassin, is pulled back into his violent past after thwarting a home invasion, setting off a chain of events that unravels secrets about his wife Becca's past and his own. This is Bob Odenkirk, Connie Nielsen, Sharon Stone, Christopher Lloyd is in this. I saw Nobody, and I really wanted to like that movie, but it's his own fault that all this stuff happens to him in a way, and it's because he beats up those Russian mafia dudes on the bus, which is it feels like an action sequence it feels like an 80s action sequence from a Cannon film.
Very Death Wish 7.
Yeah, or one of those karate movies where the ninja just happens to be an innocent bystander, and then something happens, and he decides to fend the woman who's being being accosted. It was okay. I didn't realize it did that well that it needed a sequel, and the plot literally sounds exactly like the same as the first plot. I'm going to skip it. But I don't know. Did you love the first one?
I didn't love it, but I liked it. Like, I like a good bang bang shoot 'em up. I like a good, everyman hero, or in this case, no man hero. Nobody it just follows the formula, and I respect that. And so, Nobody 2, I'm into.
All right. Stream it?
Stream it. I'm
yeah,
so
okay.
poor.
All right. Okay. So now this next one, and I think you had added this. It's called Caught Stealing, and it's directed by Darren Aronofsky. It's about a burnt-out ex-baseball player, Hank Thompson, unexpectedly finds himself embroiled in a dangerous struggle for survival amidst the criminal underbelly of the 1990s in New York City, forced to navigate a treacherous underworld he never imagined. This has got Vincent D'Onofrio, Zoe Kravitz, and Austin Butler. I was like, where the hell did this movie, I totally out of the blue for me. Have you heard anything about this thing?
No, I saw it on the list. I pulled up a list of 2025 films, and I saw that, and I was like, I'm an Aronofsky stan. I think he's amazing. He does really, really thought-provoking work. The cast looks amazing. I like a period piece set in the 90s. I was there. So I like to watch those and pick them apart, make sure they got it right. And yeah, it sounds like a fish out of water, but just like dark water.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely Aronofsky wheelhouse.
Yeah.
1990s New York City. I mean, I can't say I'm probably not as big an Aronofsky fan as you are, but I haven't seen all of his pictures. I remember not being able to watch Requiem for a Dream all the way through the first time. I had to stop it and come back. And it's not that it's bad. It's just really hard to watch.
Yeah.
And then but I love Pi. Pi is my favorite Darren Aronofsky film.
100%.
I don't the Noah thing was just weird, and Fountain also weird. I liked Black Swan, although it was just there were times I had to cover my eyes for that one. But yeah, this looks interesting.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? So take the weird, and then take the groundedness of Pi, and take the shocking moments of Black Swan, and filter them through the 1990s New York City underground criminal under.
It sounds cool.
It's gonna be worth seeing.
Yeah,
especially through Aronofsky's eyes. So I definitely.
Here's the thing though, with a film like that coming out in August, is I don't know how much money they spent on this thing. But, I feel like movies, it's almost like they're set up for failure. I don't know what that movie cost, but it wasn't, $60 and the cast is getting a bucket of strawberries and all the venison they can eat, like when I used to do plays back in the day. But, whatever money they're spending on this, which is probably not a lot, are they going to make it back?
Well, I think with names like Aronofsky and D'Onofrio, I think they're playing the long game. And yeah, I think, over a long enough timeline, sure, they'll get their money back.
All right, so next up, The Toxic Avenger reboot. This has got Peter Dinklage in it. Love Peter Dinklage. I'm tell you the log line, and you tell me if it sounds familiar. A horrible toxic accident transforms a downtrodden janitor, Winston Goose, into a new evolution of hero, the Toxic Avenger. It is what it says on the tin.
So the Toxic Avenger is going to appeal to fans of the Toxic Avenger, and probably very few else. But
are you a Toxic Avenger fan?
I am.
Okay.
I am. So Troma Studios has a special place in the hearts of a lot of people from a very specific time period. And if you know the story of Troma Studios, they made gonzo films on no budgets, and they revolutionized independent filmmaking. They were the mutant child of independent film. I got to meet Lloyd Kaufman years ago at a book signing. He was signing the book Make Your Own Damn Movie, and I was working at a bookstore, and so very down to earth, affable, approachable, gregarious, just great guy. And I told him I had a friend, as this was in San Diego, I said, I have a friend back in Texas who dreams of interning in the effects department of your studio. And he goes, oh, well, let's get something for your friend. And we were at the cafe, and he goes, give me that role. And he took a roll, and he signed, here's a role for you in one of my films. And I was able to send that to my friend. So because of that alone, I will always love him. But the Toxic Avenger, again, special place in people's hearts. This particular film was made years ago. This has been shelved for years.
Oh.
So it's finally coming out this summer. So the people who are interested in this film are even more interested in this film because, it's been withheld from us. So we're salivating for it. We're melting for it. So yes, this is going to have one big push at the box office, then is going to have a second life on home media. I think physical media will be a big thing for this one, and it'll land somewhere for streaming. And it's going to be a midnight movie. It's going to be beloved. But at theaters, it's going to come and go. It's going to be 2 weekends and it's gone.
Right. Yeah.
But the people who want to see it are going to see it, and they will step over other people to see it. And they'll save their pennies, but take that jar that smells musty on their nightstand and go see this film.
Yeah, I'm not a Toxic Avenger person. I know that movie exists. I know that Trauma exists, and that's where we were just talking about Superman last. That's where James Gunn came from. Mm-hmm. He wrote Romeo and Juliet, and he wrote stuff for he also wrote like the Scooby-Doo movies. But yeah, that's where he started. Was like super independent film. We'll see. Now, speaking of revivals and reprisals, this is Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues.
That's a great title.
Great title. Spinal Tap, it's coming out September 12th. You know what this is, kids, if you were alive in the 80s. The band gets back together after a 15-year break for one final concert, according to the synopsis from the producers. Which was written in
the synopsis. The synopsis refers to itself. It's meta.
Yeah. So we get Michael McKean, Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, directed again by Rob Reiner, who will probably appear in the film as well.
Yeah.
I don't
What's not to love? I'm there. I'm going to 11. This is another thing that this is a film for fans of This Is Spinal Tap and no one else. No one who hasn't heard of Spinal Tap or hasn't seen the first film is going to go see this film.
Right. You think it's going to be the children of Gen X kids who are,
They may be dragged along, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, and those kids with old souls, who just like sit around and watch Harold and Maude and Spinal Tap, and they're like, oh my God, there's another Spinal Tap. People are definitely going to go see this film. I'm going to go see this film.
You're going to go see it in the theater?
I'm going to see it in the theater. No. Come on, man. You know how busy I am?
It doesn't come out until September, so hopefully the bank account has had time to recoup.
Yeah, there's that, but I think we're going to be doing a festival in September.
We're going to be doing a lot of festivals in September.
So it's festival season, so I'm going to be busy.
Yeah, I got mixed feelings about that one. I just like Spinal Tap is like one of those perfect singular movies that's lightning in a bottle, and I feel like any attempt to replicate that is I don't know, man. Even though it's the same people, it's like when the people from it's like when A Fish Called Wanda. Mm-hmm. When they made A Fish Called Wanda, they took that cast, and that's one of those perfect lightning in a bottle movies.
Yeah.
And they made another movie called Fierce Creatures, which is not bad, but it ain't Fish Called Wanda.
Right.
And I feel like whatever we get is not going to be the original This Is Spinal Tap. And I don't know. Like it's like why are we doing this?
And I think that's what's going to make me watch it, is that curiosity. Not why. Why, yes, but also how. How is a band like Spinal Tap going to look at the world as it exists now? I mean, think about, their viewpoints in the original film. Think about, a lot of their backwards thinking and a lot of their bewilderments. What is that going to look like in 2025? How are they navigating this world?
Do we need old man Spinal Tap? I mean, we're getting the old man movies a lot. Like, we're getting old man Axel Foley. We're getting but I don't know, man. I'm skeptical.
It's,
as hell.
it's about representation in film. I watched that movie, The Rule of Jenny Pen, the other day with John Lithgow and Jeffrey Rush. That takes place in an old folks home. And it got a great review from Stephen King. And I watched the movie, and it was fine, but I was like, why did Stephen King love this movie? I'm like, he's 77. It's about representation. He's seeing himself on the screen.
Okay.
And so that's what This Is Spinal Tap 2 is. We want to see ourselves on the screen. We want the old rockers. We want to know that they can still rock.
Okay. Boomer Vision. All right. Okay, so we got so the last movie is September 19, Ella McCay. This is James L. Brooks, which is a name. It's a name I have not heard. So this film, so Ella McCay, the film will follow an idealistic young politician who juggles family issues and a challenging work life while preparing to take over the job of her mentor, the state's longtime incumbent governor. So this is James L. Brooks, Jamie Lee Curtis, Woody Harrelson, and Rebecca Hall. Great cast. Didn't know James L. Brooks was going to get back in the He's directed. First of all, there's probably an entire generation that might be listening that has no idea who the hell James L. Brooks is. Tell them who James L. Brooks is.
James L. Brooks is one of the prolific filmmakers, producers, writers that made pretty much every great heartfelt comedy from the late 70s to the early 90s. And is a producer on The Simpsons.
Right. Which is where he made all the money.
Yes.
But he, As Good as It Gets, broadcast news, some of the finest acting and writing coming together. Can he do it again? I mean, I don't know how old this guy is, but, is he going to come back and show people how to make movies about people again?
Yeah, he's going to come back. He's going to rock. It's another old rocker. Out the Boomer Vision, baby.
All right. I'm curious. I'd probably stream it, but
I will definitely. It will hit my eyeballs. Definitely. Yeah, I'm going to say streaming. I'm not going to go to the theater and see it, but that's why I wanted to make sure it was on this list because I want people to know about it. I wanted to know about it. So again, I found it, diamond in the rough, and I'm like, yeah, sign me up. I want to see that.
Yeah, I'm really curious. I'd love to see a great movie about people, and I do see more of that happening. And it's and I think it's part of this. Every time Hollywood goes awry and gets too big for itself, it sort of implodes and grows back again. And it happened with the new film school kids in the 60s when the old studio bosses left and they started getting taken over by Coca-Cola and Pepsi executives who had nothing about movies. They gave life to these more independent type films with the new film school kids. Now it's different generations, but then you get a film like Anora, coming out of Neon and these little studios like A24, which is now a big studio. But it kind of gives me a little bit of hope that, maybe this will be great. I don't know. It could be, I don't know. It could be bad because it's the director has not done this in a while. And
right.
Will it have the same 80s sensibility in 2025 and be sort of an anachronism? But I'm definitely curious to see it because those people are amazing,
And this is again that everything old is new again, and maybe what the studios and what the industry needs right now is a reminder from Grandpa. Back in my day, we made movies about people.
Yeah, this is what
it wasn't content.
This is what we used to call a movie.
Exactly.
All right, man. I'm going to wrap up but for the folks at home, where can they find you and where can they find your work?
You can find me on my lawn yelling at children. You can also find me on Instagram and the site formerly known as Twitter at Eric M. McClanahan, and I have
and Blue Sky too, right?
Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky now. It's I think Eric M. McClanahan or Eric McClanahan. It's me. And you can read my reviews on ain'titcool.com and cinemascholars.com.
All right, so that's all we got for you today. Thank you once again for tripping with us down the rabbit hole. And for more of this content, more news and movie reviews, you can find it on the website, norestoftheweekendpodcast.com. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app or on YouTube, youtube.com/getbehindtherabbit. For Eric McClanahan and the BTRP Media Network, I'm Jason Godbey. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
This is the BTRP Media Network.